Sometimes during the course of the year, as you're defining roles for players, you know, I pulled Armoni aside early and I said, look, Armoni, especially when Wes started early. Wes started, I think Armoni started the Meet State game because that's when Rob went through his church deal. And Armoni popped up and had 22, 23, whatever it was that night, played great, shot great. Armoni doesn't always play great when he shoots good. But, he popped up there and had a great night. And but I didn't want him to start, and I had to explain to him the importance of that role. That was going to be a critical role. Now back in November when I was talking to him about the role that I saw him playing on this team, little did I know that 4 months later he was going to be the best player in this league in that role. I think that goes back to this team's unselfish nature. This team really is selfless. Self can be ended in two syllables, with an ish or a less. You can be selfish or you can be selfless. This team is very selfless. When you run around on the team thinking about you, then you're not part of the team. Armoni embodies everything that I want in a player in terms of his attitude. But he's an elite shooter, man. I don't have his stats in front of me, but I know he had 2 games where he made 7 threes. And I'm going to take a guess here that he had 7 or 8 where he had made at least 4, maybe, something like that. Not surprising. So, happy for him, but I think Armoni would be the first to tell you that that's a shared award. He's going to give a lot of, we have 2 players in the top 10 in the league in assists, Jalen and Rob. And most of Armoni's shots were off an assist. So Armoni did a great job this year. Really, really happy for him.
Kelvin, how much can a conference tournament and the setup of it, especially if you keep winning and keep playing, help prepare you for the postseason, the conditioning? And
I just think the way it's set up, I remember all those years in the, even in the Pac-10 tournament, things change. For instance, you have a police escort. You got 8 or 9 motorcycles running around your bus with their lights flashing. You're zooming through traffic, going through stoplights. Kids are looking out the window. Well, that didn't happen when we were busing to the hotel in Greenville, North Carolina. That didn't happen. We got on the bus, get out of the hotel, get on the bus, and wherever, Philadelphia, or Connecticut, Dallas, it was just us. But now everything's shared, everything changes, and I think it's, you have to have a mature team. But when you go to the tournament, everything's on a neutral court now. You got 20 minutes of shoot around the day before. There may or may not be a shoot around the day of. Everything's different. But I think this is where having a mature team, an older team, should help you.
What do you tell them? What kind of advice? You've been through so many postseason events.
Yeah,
you've been wanting to push this program here. You got them there. What do you tell them?
I think the number one thing is to control the controllable. I've always been big on that. The vision we have for this program in April of 14, we were right there our second year. We came down to the last month. We had some losses that we just weren't quite ready. But we were there that second year. The third year we were there too. But this year we kicked the door down. But now that the door's kicked down and we're in this position, most important thing is starts with me. Don't change. Practice today is going to be no different than practice a month ago. Mainly because I don't know any other way. There's nothing going to change for us. Things around us will change. And that's where we have to really focus on us. Things as mundane as a motorcycle escort to a neutral court, one and done. There's a lot of things out there. But at the end of the day, there's a 94-foot slab of rectangular wood. It's got 2 goals and 1 ball, 10 guys. That don't change.
Different coaches view these conference tournaments differently. You go there to try to win this.
Absolutely. No matter where I've been in a conference tournament, the goal is to win today. You know, you don't go to win the tournament, you go to win today. You know, we have the game Friday night at 9 o'clock. If we lose that game, we're going to come home Saturday. I mean, that's reality. People say, well, be positive. I'm not interested in, cycle babble. The thing that I focus on is this is reality. You know, you've got to play good today. You know, if you play good today, you get to play tomorrow. If you play good tomorrow, you get to play the next day. But you better play good the first day, or there is no next day.
Kelvin, yesterday on the conference call, some of the coaches were asked about going into conference tournament. If you're safely in the tournament, or there's a good chance you're in, that should seeding stay the same, and maybe what you do in 3 days or whatever, not.
You're talking about seeding for the NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
I think the NCAA tournament helps you more. I'm sorry, the conference tournament can only help you. I don't think the conference tournament can hurt you. I think teams that are on the bubble can play themselves in, but I don't. If you're in the tournament, I don't think it's going to change anything. Unless you're come out of nowhere, catch lightning in the bottom, win 4 games. I don't know how many teams do that. But you know, there's 3 teams in this league that I think are safely in. But you know, that's just a statement. You know, it's not being braggadocious. It's just reality. You know, I think we're in the tournament. You know, and I think our body of work in November, in December, January, February. You know, we haven't lost 2 games in a row all year. You know, I think back to how good I thought Providence was. You know, when we were going back to the hotel after the Providence game, I told our coaches on the bus, that's a good team. You know, they're going to do good in their league. Arkansas, you know, we caught Arkansas one of those nights. You know, we weren't that good and they weren't that bad. It's just one of those nights happen like that. I thought Arkansas was pretty good. Even St. Louis, I thought St. Louis was pretty good. They wound up having a good year. I think they finished 500 in the Atlantic 10. That was a good road win. And then once we got the conference season, you know, once you get the conference season, there's a lot of questions that have been answered. You know, your team goes through a process of hope and think and knowing. You hope you can win, then you start thinking you can win, then you know you can win. By the time we got to January, we knew we could win. But it was because of our schedule. We played a great non-conference schedule. You know, our non-conference schedule really prepared us for the conference, and that's why we set it up that way.